Welcome to the Young Pro Show. My name is David, and today we have a special guest here with you today. His name is Tuan, and he's really excited to share his story with you. I'm super stoked to have him on the show. But Tuan, why don't we just tell the audience a little bit about yourself, where you come from, and what brings you here on the Young Pro Show today?
Wow, geez, I probably talk forever for this, but I'll try to make it quick. Where I come from, good old Vietnam 40 years ago when I came to here, pretty grateful to be here in Canada. And the truth is, I was pursuing med school, and I'm going to cut the long story short, ended up in business, did all the volunteerism, raised a lot of money for charity, and didn't realize that through volunteerism, it would open up a ton of doors on the entrepreneurship side. And since then, I've been able to raise a lot of money for charity into the millions, create lots of businesses that have made several millions, but at the same time, give a lot of that money away to charity and make a big difference. And so I hope that I'm here to share some of the story with you guys, some lessons, so you can mix a bit of both, some awesome business, make a big difference, but also make big fortune at the same time.
Okay, well, Tuan, this is really exciting. We're super happy to have you on here. I'm
Thank you.
curious, what happened from the transition from med school into business? Were you passionate about med school when you first got into it?
So I still love medicine, to be quite honest. It's pretty cool stuff. But I did also believe in alternative medicine as well. I believe in kind of East meets West. So that's one reason why I couldn't go fully into medicine.
Okay.
But the real reason was I was volunteering, because that's part of trying to get to med school. And I love the volunteerism side. I love raising money for charity. I love bringing the checks and the dollars. And then it was at the 11th hour where I said, you know what? I want to go into business, make a ton of money, and then give that money to those in need.
Wow.
And that's how the transition happened.
Wow. Have you always had that desire to give back?
I think so. You know, it's hard to say it other than that's all I can remember.
Okay.
And I have to say, my mom and dad, you know, we grew up in the projects in Montreal, and it wasn't easy. But the funny thing is, mom and dad had so much to complain about, but they always said, we have to be grateful no matter what.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So you didn't have the best background growing up?
Nope. Rough projects. Guys in my neighborhood got shot. You know, they call me the Gangsta Buddha for a reason, because I'm pretty spiritual, but I come from the streets. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying, man. I know what you're saying. Cool, man. Well, do you think that do you think that helped you a lot, you know, growing up in not the best environment? And then do you think that made you want to give back more because of that?
So I would say yes, but it's because it's my story. It helped me.
Yeah.
You know, and I think everyone has their story, and it's how they look at their story to drive that energy and inspiration. So for me, for sure, I look back and I thought, okay, I don't want to be in this situation. I don't want my parents to be in this situation, and I want to give more. I want to be better. I want to give my kids more. And so that was my inspiration, right? For some other friends who are very successful too, they weren't in the same predicament. But for them, it was different. They were inspired by maybe their parents, or they were inspired by a teacher, right? So for me, definitely that was part of my story.
Okay,
Yeah.
wow, that's absolutely amazing. So going from med school to business, now was that the plan to go into business and then to start to raise funds through business, or did you have any other plans prior to that for getting into business?
Yeah, so I did engineering first, which I did pretty well in school, but then I didn't learn much about business.
Okay.
And then I went to business school. And while I was in business school, for the first time, I understood how companies made money. Because you don't really know in engineering, or, growing up in the projects, you don't talk about this stuff. And so I applied business principles to fundraising events. And so I was able to generate more for my efforts. So I would say, oh my goodness, I'm volunteering 10 hours a week and I'm only raising $1,000. How do I raise $10,000 with the same amount of hours?
Wow.
And through business skills, I was able to kind of like tie it in, right? And then it was only when I was fundraising successfully, which I thought I was like 20 years old, right? So I didn't realize that it would help me that early, because by 25 I had consulting companies, I had an internet company.
Wow.
You know, I've raised $1 million already for charity, and I didn't realize this because when you're like 20 years old and you're in business school, you think, oh, maybe one day I'll have a business when I'm 45, 50 years old.
Right.
But the reality is now, more so than ever before, if there's like young people out there, you guys, there's no better time now than to dream about starting your own business.
I absolutely love that you said that so much, because I know that there are people out there right now that are watching this that might be a little bit afraid to go into their dreams and to start right now. And I know that a lot of people that I talk to, they feel as though their dream should wait, or that this is not the right time to be able to do it. But you, in your 20s, you jumped right into it and you didn't hesitate. So what advice could you give for those people that might be feeling some hesitation and might be unsure about whether or not they could pursue their dream and make their dream happen right now?
All right, so there's a few things I could say. The first one is more of a story. So I would say 20 years ago, you know, or even let's say 30 years ago, it's rare to see someone who's 60 years old go to someone who's 20 years old for business advice. But as early as 15, 20 years ago, for the first time ever, I was working in my first job as an accountant. I was in someone's office, and the CEO of the company screwed something up on, I don't know what he did in his computer, but it messed up, and he's like, oh shit, no, if I could say that. And he's like, oh man, okay, awesome. He's like, oh shit. And then I'm like, okay, what's going on here? And then he gets up, I follow him into another room, and it's this room where the guy manages his IT stuff. And he flips around, and this guy had like piercings and tattoo. And normally back in the day it was like, arrest this man kind of thing, right? But this gentleman was at his mercy. The CEO dude was at his mercy saying, help me. And the guy's like, don't worry, man. Let's check it out. He just kind of walks, boom, and he fixed the problem. And it was that I realized that young people these days have access to power, information that we all value no matter how old you are. So if you have a dream right now, the access you have to information, the ability you have to make things happen, believe it or not, people need it at all ages. And I actually spoke to a group of older crowds, I call them the sturdier crowds recently, and I said, yo, here's the problem. The problem is that the younger generation is actually kind of afraid of the older generation, and the older generation is afraid of the younger generation. It's because there's so much information out there. But that's the opportunity for you guys, because you have the ability to compile this information, access this information, and turn it into something valuable for companies and people and families and dudes and dudettes to like really live a life, you know what I'm saying? So don't be afraid of that for that very reason, because you are so much more powerful now to start whatever you want and make your dreams come true. You really, really are.
Wow, that's powerful. You know, we really are living in the age where anything is possible. You know, we have the ability right now to connect to somebody anywhere around the world with the click of a button. And I think sometimes we may take for granted how powerful that really is, and the amount that we could do with the connectivity that we have. You know, we really are the connected generation, and if we could take advantage of the information age, the connected generation, we could do wonderful things. So Tuan, I really want to know, what wakes you up in the morning right now? You know, what drives you to go towards your dreams every single day?
What drives me is the opportunity to actually be who I am and knowing that it makes a difference. And this comes from a lesson I learned transitioning from my old life to today, which is I was a superstar philanthropist guy, like speaking all over the world. I did like TEDx talks and stuff. But, you know, I was telling my buddy Matt earlier, and I said, dude, it was awesome, but I started feeling less real. It's because I was afraid of being real, I wouldn't be accepted. And if you guys are out there setting a dream and having a dream, realize that you don't need to change who you are. We want to better ourselves as people. But what drives me every morning is now I know I could wake up in the morning and just be me and give me to the world and know that I have something of value to give to the world and live it up and rock this world with everyone else. That's what's the new me, and that's what I believe that everyone can do, no matter what age. And including you guys, it's amazing what you guys are doing right here. It's like there's a camera, we're in an awesome pad, shooting a great video. Guess what? The whole world can see this video. And guess what? This is who we are. We're gonna rock it like this. That's what drives me every day. And I want people to live this attitude, this approach in life. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. I love the energy that you put off when you're speaking. I feel like people are watching right now and they could feel that energy coming through the camera. There's a reason why you're successful. You could see it right here. So Tuan, what's next for you? I mean, you're passionate. You've achieved a lot of success for your life. Where are you going next?
So I am doing two things. So believe it or not, I am a father of three.
Oh.
Yeah, 13-year-old, 10-year-old, and a 3.5-year-old. It's a blended family. But I've recently connected with a lot of men who are business owners and dads at the same time. So one of my sites I'm about to launch, it's called dudebuddha.com. Check it out one day. It'll be launched within about a couple of weeks.
I like it.
But it's been in existence for a little bit now. And I help business dudes draw and create more successful businesses, but still be able to be present and become an awesome dad, because there's a connection between being an awesome business owner and an awesome dad at the same time. So that's one.
Okay.
The other thing is, in my circle, there's a lot of people who now want to go off on their own, in a generation where they have children. And now I can really relate to that. And so Tuan Nguyen Space is a personal endeavor where I want to help these individuals jumpstart their career into consulting coaching, but in a really authentic manner, like just being them. And the reason I see the need is I've had so many people come up to me and say, yo, man, I don't know why I'm hitting a wall. I'm going to say, I'll tell you why you're hitting the wall. Because you're not real anymore. You're just being someone just to get business. And they don't understand that just by being real, it can actually attract the right customers in the most profitable way, and to be honest, in the most joyous way to grow a business. So Space, helping individuals who are looking to leave a job or reinvigorate their coaching or consulting company into a more authentic and profitable business. And dudebuddha.com, helping dads become stronger business people and awesome dads at the same time.
That's incredible. That just sounds like you're living an awesome life right now.
It's pretty awesome,
It's
bro.
pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So
I love life.
There we go. So Tuan, I don't want you to give away all your secrets, but for these consulting companies that you're helping become more transparent, where do you begin with something like that?
So it actually begins with a deep dive into them, to be quite honest.
Okay.
The only way they could work with me is if they're willing to open up and be totally honest with themselves first, and therefore with me. And I'm really just a guy who's gonna just challenge them until I literally break them down into who they really are.
Okay.
And then recognizing that that's a gift, that what they have, that they've been hiding, is a gift. And so it's a whole deep process, which is why it's Gangsta Buddha, because it's like a bit of spirituality, but down to the streets. I'm not like up there, I'm down to earth. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm against up there because I'm super spiritual, but to connect with the people I want to connect with, I got to know how to bring it down. And so that's the process, is taking something that's really up there, that's a really high level, but then bringing it down and digging deep into someone. It starts with that process. And then the rest, to be honest, what I do, a lot of people do, but it's that digging in process that I feel I could add my Tuanism into it. You know what I'm saying?
Tuanism.
Yeah.
I like that.
Better write it down.
I can feel a little bit of Tuanism right here while I'm talking to you. Cool, Tuan. So I love that. I would love to be able to get just a one-on-one session with you sometime. I think it'd be awesome to be able to have that. Well, I guess we're doing it right now.
Yeah. I love it. It's awesome. It's awesome.
So Tuan, what 3 tips, if you can give 3 of the best things that you've learned throughout your success, throughout your career, what are those 3 things that the youth or the people who are watching today can go out and apply?
Oh, apply. Well, I like mindset training, to be quite honest.
Awesome.
I know it's cliche, but I'm going to say it anyways, because it takes a lot of courage to live with this. So to really be grateful, that's one, right? It's very difficult to do, but when you are grateful and you look at things every day, and my kids have a gratitude journal, and I'll tell you guys why that's awesome. They write a gratitude journal every day, and the more you are grateful for, the more you'll see opportunity. That's just natural, right? Then at the same time, we do something else called the pain journal, which is inside the gratitude journal, which is, what pain do you want to solve today? And the 10-year-old said, I want to find a better way to dispose garbage at school. Yo, that's like probably a multi-million-dollar opportunity right there, but it creates amazing positive impact, right? So funny enough, a gratitude journal, a pain statement that you want to solve, and knowing to live today. Don't think about tomorrow. Don't think about the past. Today is where you got to be alive. And look at me. I'm like in front of you guys right now. And I'm like this, if you're in front of a camera or in front of me, I'm in front of you, alive. And to me, just those 3 together will open up a world of opportunities for you to put the pieces together and hustle to make the dreams come true.
Okay, so be grateful, figure out some pain that you could solve every single day, and live in the now.
Correct.
Okay. Can I challenge the third one for
Sure.
a second just to give some clarity?
Yeah.
So for living in the now, I
Yeah.
know sometimes it could be a little bit difficult because we do have a lot of things that are going on, and I know there are a lot of visionaries out there. So people that are, seeing their dreams, seeing what they want to happen, and they're a little bit. I know that I would. So I'll just relate it to myself because I know that when I was, I have these big dreams that I want to make happen. But sometimes you get so caught up in those dreams that you don't live here right now, in this moment.
Right.
So what could we do at that point in time if we're thinking we have all these great ideas, but we don't really know what to start and we don't really know how to bring it to the present moment?
Right. So each person has their own ways of becoming present. So I'm all about creating a vision and dreaming, but it's where you get distracted, right? So part of your own personal detox is to make sure you prevent toxins or distractions.
Okay.
So everyone has to have their own process. In my case, I do meditation, and then I get to the gym, I play music. Everyone has their own what I call pregame ritual, right? So you got to determine what that pregame ritual is, so that way you get yourself back in the zone. So for me, I work for 45 minutes, and then I spend 15 minutes every hour to get in the zone.
Okay.
And then I work for 45 minutes. Some people do 25 minutes, then 5 minutes. That's called the Pomodoro technique, which is 25 minutes, 5 minutes, 25 minutes, 5 minutes. There's so many different strategies out there, and you got to find one that fits you. I could go 45 minutes straight, so I could go that extra 20 minutes, but I need 15 minutes to get in the zone, and I really do. I do breathing exercise, I listen to music, and in my case, I watch one of my favorite dance choreography videos.
Cool.
And I love dance to get my creative juices going. I want to bust it, and then I get back in the zone and I work. So get that process system in, so then your mind can just shift, because it's going to happen every minute. I get distracted every time. That's business owners. We have vision, we have ideas. It's just got to compartmentalizing and getting your system in place to stay focused.
Okay, great answer.
Thanks.
So one of the final things that I really want to ask you is about habits. So to become successful, your habits are one of the most important things that you could develop. You have to get rid of your bad habits, create good habits for yourself. So what does a typical day of Tuan look like? What does Tuan's life look like? From waking up to going to bed at night, are there things that you do every single day?
Well, every day I hit the gym or I do some activity, like Taekwondo with the kids, and I go to the gym. And then meditation, at least in the morning. I need it more in the morning than at night. Okay. So I have literally 5 minutes only of meditation. Okay. And I go down to the basement. And then it's when you have kids, it's the art of turning off your technology to be with kids. So as a parent, that's how I have my day. In fact, the more I spend time with my kids, the more creative I feel with my business. It's weird, but it's because I've built my business around my life. While people like to build a business and then their life starts designing around them. I made a statement that I'm going to build my empire around my life. I want to be with my kids. I want the phone off. I want this. And I look at it and I build my business around my life, which I want to meditate. I want to stay healthy. I want to be with them. I want to play hockey with them. And I want to spend 30 hours a week working on a business. Let's do the best I can. And it's a game of efficiency and focus.
Okay,
yeah.
Awesome. My last question for you, Tuan, is who is one person that you know that needs to be on the Young Pro Show and why?
Wow. Oh my goodness. There's so many. Top of mind would be probably Jay Wong. Or locally. Do it have to be locally? So locally, I'd go with Corey Sove over at Flapjacks. This man, in the span of 700 days through Instagram and Twitter, built himself a multi-million-dollar business. Wow. He is a wicked lad, super creative, extremely inspiring, hungry to grow, and always trying to come up creative solutions to make a difference and impact in this community.
Okay, well, I hope that we're able to get him onto the show so he could bring some value to you guys. Tuan, thank you so much for coming on today. It was an absolute pleasure to have you here. Guys, thank you for tuning in to the Young Pro Show, and look forward to the next episode. Tuan, is there any closing words that you want to leave them with?
Peace out. Live in the now, bro. And girls.
Take care, guys.